Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, it's Stubbs121 with Gamers Initiative, and we are back for another episode of the News Breakdown. Let's get underway. We got three really important topics that we really think that you guys should know about. But before we begin, can you guys please drop a like, maybe a comment, and a subscribe? We would really appreciate it. We really would. So thank you guys so much for just being here. Let's get underway with our three topics. Let's do this. Here we go. Alright guys, first up on our list, we are talking about Bayonetta 3. Now for those of you guys that don't know, the voice actor for Bayonetta, Helena Taylor's, her Twitter is basically blown up within the past week or so, where she had posted in a number of videos of her basically being undercut or underpaid for her services for the voice that she had lent to the character for the new Bayonetta 3 that's set to come out from Platinum Games October 28th. In the Twitter, in one of the videos, she had stated that the Bayonetta franchise made an approximately $450 million, and that's not including merchandise. As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years, 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art Lambda with voice coach Barbara Berkeley, and 4.5 years with legendary Larry Moss in Los Angeles. And what did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me? The final offer to do the whole game was a buyout flat rate for $4,000. I don't really know a whole lot when it comes to voice actors, but to me, that seems like a significant undersell when it comes to, the time and the effort that was actually put into it. Now, like she had stated, the Bayonetta franchise has made an astronomical amount of money. And to only give someone who is the main voice character, I mean, she voices Bayonetta, only $4,000 flat out, that seems like you're underselling pretty much everything. And now I know there are so many other individuals that are working on these games as well too, from production leads to script writing, to editing, to bugs, all that sort of stuff. So there are a lot of people that need to be paid. But for someone who has actually lent her voice to Bayonetta, the main character, that seems like such an undervalue. That seems like she was basically cut like massive amounts of money that she should deserve. Unfortunately, though, there have been a couple different outlets have actually kind of responded to her claim, saying that she was actually offered roughly around $15,000 for her work, basically. Now, this is actually cited from both, and it was corroborated as well too from both Bloomberg and VGC, citing documentation that Platinum had tried to hire Taylor for 5 sessions, each lasting 4 hours, where each session would be paid roughly $3,000 to $4,000. Now, that seems, again, I don't know what the appropriate amount should be, but it seems like an appropriate or a more appropriate amount that I would think that someone should have when they're voicing their, voicing for a video game. And now I believe it's from the Voice Actors Union as well as SAG that a minimum of $1,000 should be paid out for each session as well too. So I mean, we're kind of seeing different opinions from $4,000 to $15,000, and where Taylor herself has actually refuted all those claims, saying that that is not true as well too. Now, Bayonetta has actually changed voice actors because Taylor has decided to step away for the way that she was treated, where Jennifer Hale, who actually voiced the female version of Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect series, will be taking command. And she had actually voiced her opinion as well too, as you guys can see up on the screen. She just definitely felt that she should not be silent about this as well. It's really interesting to see, because we're getting, like I said, two differing opinions, where the second opinion, where she should, where she was offered $15,000, was corroborated by two other sources. So we're seeing kind of differing opinions when it comes to, but all in all, I definitely think that individuals who do lend their voice to massive games like this as well too should be paid an appropriate amount of money. Now, is Taylor not telling the truth? Is she telling the truth? I don't know 100%, but from what we're from what we're seeing right here, is that she was only offered $4,000, at least on her side, but Platinum Games actually offered her $15,000. So I don't really know, but we're going to keep our eyes on any new information that does come to light, and we'll definitely bring it to you guys as well too. Alright guys, next up on our list, we have actually talked about this before, but Netflix is actually stepping their way into gaming. Now, this isn't anything new, because we're seeing more and more of these outside companies, besides basically like Steam, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, try to break into the gaming industry, as we saw with Google and its unfortunate collapse or crumbling of Stadia. Now, Stadia did really good things. I mean, and I bash on it a lot, I really do, because I don't think that it was marketed well by any means, and we're going to talk about that just very shortly as well too. But it did good things in the sense that it's trying to give gamers exactly what they want: the ability to play games wherever and whenever they want to, rather than having a computer in front of them, or an Xbox or a PlayStation. Even still, I mean, a Switch is a large device, and to be able to play AAA games on your phone or, you know, something along those lines. I mean, that's kind of what we want as gamers. We want that ability to play wherever, whenever we want as well too. And I think that that was some of the good things that Stadia had actually tried to do. They tried to push that envelope to allow us for those things. But unfortunately, they just didn't really kind of hit the right market, or they didn't really have a good business model. I don't know, but it really unfortunately floundered. So I do give them praise in the sense that they tried. They really put a lot of effort into it, but it really didn't unfortunately pan out the way that they wanted it to. Now, the reason we're talking about this, and again, like I had mentioned, we had talked about this before, but Netflix is actually getting into gaming. Now, with the help of a former Blizzard executive, Chaco Sony, Netflix has made its intentions clear as they attempt to leap into this space. Now, like we know, we have Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Network, and I'm pretty sure that there's a Nintendo one. I think it's just Nintendo Online, because I have the ability to play previous like NES games on my Switch as well too. But this actually, you know, their forte is, you know, with Netflix is basically streaming television, streaming shows, some amazing shows like Stranger Things, and other ones that I really can't think of at this time. I do apologize. But it definitely seems like a great idea for them to actually get into it. Actually, since they have been buying up a couple of different gaming developers, and as well too publishing a number of mobile games. They're buying up companies like Oxenfree developers Night Dive and publishing dozens of mobile games, including Into the Breach. Netflix has poised themselves to be something different. Now, like we had mentioned too, with a limiting factor of like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now is that we need one of those consoles or one of those devices to be able to do that sort of thing. Now, Netflix VP of Game Development Mike Verdu spoke with TechCrunch Disrupt, saying, "We're very seriously exploring a cloud gaming offering. With Netflix having quite a shaky year in some points, from increasing the price of memberships, controlling the sharing of passwords, this might be something that to actually put them back in the good graces of consumers." Verdu states that Netflix doesn't want to compete with consoles, but rather that it adds value to it. And that's really interesting that they're hoping to kind of add value to, you know, consoles and things like that. Not to compete with them like Stadia had tried to, but more to be, you know, something that you can add on, something more of a, you know, addition to what we already have. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen it as well too. Netflix has changed the way that they're doing their subscriptions with shortly, I believe it's in November, they're coming out with a $7 subscription for shows, but it has ads in it. And that might play a role into it as well too, because we're starting to see where more and more of these, you know, these companies are creating their own plus or their own subscribers, like Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount, Peacock, all these different things where they've got their own exclusives and buying up different rights. And it seems like they're adding value to the different consoles to be something a little bit different. Now, time will only tell how this works out. I'm really excited to see how this goes. I'm not 100% sure how things are going to go, but I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table as far as the gaming industry does come along. You know, will we basically only be able to play these games through, you know, like our phone or our console or PlayStation, things like that to start, you know, the consoles portion, and then adapt it to our phones or things like that? I don't know, but it's really curious. I'm really curious to see how things go. What it kind of reminds me of a little bit though is like GameFly, if you guys remember that as well too, where you basically paid into a subscription, you got a game in the mail, you played it, and then you sent it back. So, and that's the way that Netflix was as well too when they first started out. So it kind of feels a little bit like that in the sense that you're, you know, you have your subscription, you pay for your game, and then you send it back or so. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to connect the dots here, and it's not really working, unfortunately, but that's kind of what it feels like to me. But when we get more information, when we get more ideas of what's going to be happening, we'll definitely present them to you guys as well too. But it seems like they're actually getting into, you know, the gaming industry, and maybe they might have a better business model than Stadia did when it first came out. Who knows, guys? Only time will tell. All right, guys, for our last topic for the day, we're going to talk about Rooster Teeth, and I don't know how much you guys have actually seen or what you guys have, you know, read or anything in that regard as far as videos online. But Rooster Teeth is the parent company of a number of other smaller groups. Rooster Teeth is actually owned by Warner Brothers as well too. Now, Rooster Teeth was actually started by 5 individuals. And I'm going to be reading off a number of like a bit of the script that I actually did write for this because I want to make sure that I follow a lot of things correctly. But Rooster Teeth was actually started by Jeff Ramsey, Bernie Burns, Matt Hellman, Joel Heyman, and Gus Cerolo. It was actually formed in 2003, located in Austin, Texas. Rooster Teeth is known for iconic titles such as Ruby as well as Red vs. Blue. And that's kind of how I got into knowing what Rooster Teeth was because of Red vs. Blue. And we're going to actually talk about some more of kind of what's been going on for a little while now, is kind of, that we talked about with other different, with other companies and things like that. But sexual harassment as well as a toxic workplace. Now, I don't know all of the details, and I'm probably only barely scratching the surface when it comes to. So I ask you to please read everything you can from the sources below, and read the tweets from all parties. Now, it's a very sensitive subject, and I only mean to bring information to the story and not provide my own views on anything in that regard. I highly recommend that you guys go do your own research and things like that. It is frustrating to kind of work and to kind of talk about this stuff, because I love kind of that group. More predominantly, I love Funhouse. I grew up watching Funhouse for a little while and stuff. Like, I think I've watched them for like, I don't know, 8 years now, before they were even Funhouse, when they were Inside Gaming and then part of like Machinima and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I grew up watching Adam, Bruce, Joel, Peak, Lawrence, James, and I don't want to talk about kind of that group because they unfortunately have some stuff going on right now as well too, regarding one of their founding members as well. So if you guys want more information about that too, you guys should go look at that as well. But we're actually, like I said, we're gonna be focusing on Achievement Hunter Rooster Teeth. Now, like I said, it was created in Austin, Texas in 2003 by Jeff Ramsey, Bernie Burns, Matt Hallman, Joel Heyman, and Gus Cerullo. They brought us some amazing titles, like I said, like Red vs. Blue, and of course Ruby. But unfortunately, everything was not as joyful and as happy when it came to the community or the group themselves, as it appeared to be on screen. Now, when we look at a lot of these different like content creators and things like that, definitely what goes on off the screen versus on the screen is completely different story. I mean, it really is. They seem like they're, good group of people, very happy. Sorry guys, I'm actually making tomato sauce while this is going on. But it seems like they seem like a really great, amazing group of people. But again, off the screen, things could be going on, a whole bunch of different things could be going on. An ex-staffer, kdin Jensen, and I do apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, has accused the company of overworking her, underpaying her, and fostering an environment in which she was repeatedly called a homophobic slur. Like I said, I was more of a Funhouse fan, which they have their own unfortunate issues they're dealing with right now, so I don't really follow as much of Achievement Hunter as I do Funhouse over the years. I know who the group was. I knew a lot of the founding members, like Gavin, like Jeff, like Michael, Ray, who's been gone for a little while as well too, and then another founding member that is no longer with the group due to a lot of issues that he went through as well too. So I mean, I knew about the group because they had a lot of interactions with Funhouse as well too, but I didn't really follow them as much. Two individuals that they had actually brought on, much after they had actually started Achievement Hunter, was Jeremy Dooley and Matt Bragg, and both those guys were amazing fans. They were like huge fans of the group, and they actually brought onto the group as well too, as far as I know. Again, my information might be incorrect how they were brought up or how they brought into the group as well too, but dealing with everything kind of started with Matt Bragg, where he had actually tweeted out basically saying that his job that he had been dissolved, like just completely gone, without really any information to the community or anything like that. It was just basically dissolved, and people went basically haywire. They freaked out because he was an amazing member, from what I'm told and what a lot of the Reddit posts had say as well too, because he brought a lot of joy, a lot of like really great ideas to the community, to the group, and he just loved doing what he did. And to basically have his role basically just wiped clean, without a whole lot of information to the community, people were shocked. People were really upset, like incredibly upset in regards to this. Now, like I said, this was a massive shock to many, as Matt was someone who was a huge fan of the group and created some of the best content to date. After this, new information was brought to light about how several people were treated poorly at the company, with Jensen actually creating a twit longer, expressing her frustrations and overall toxic workplace, the environment that she was put through. Now, this is kind of entails a number of things that she had actually stated in her twit longer. She worked from 2013 July of 2022, where she stated she had to crunch 16-hour workdays while being paid barely more than $40,000 a year, while also working and being told she would be compensated later for her work. I don't know what a correct salary should be for someone in her position, but I'm pretty sure she was like senior editor or like really high up. Again, she had to work her way up and things like that when it came to, but I don't know what the full details of what a individual like that should have for her actual salary. Rooster Teeth has then gone on to say in their response from her tweet longer that she was compensated for her pay, that she states that she was not compensated for her pay. In addition, she was provided less opportunities to be on screen and refused to allow her to take a leadership role. So she was basically prevented from taking a leadership role that she had desired. And this is the worst part. This really is it hurts because it's like I said, it's not a group that I follow like super closely, but I follow their partner group, or their kind of separated group, Funhouse. And so that kind of has meaning to me as well too. But she was also given the name, and I'm going to put it up on screen. I'm not going to say it because I don't really want to say it, which was shortened to Fugs, as she came out in transgender. She came out as transgender in 2016. Multiple people within the Rooster Teeth group have come forward with apologies and admissions of fault on their end, such as Jeff, Gavin, and Michael. And I'm pretty sure she had responded to both Jeff and Gavin with kind of clapbacks to what they had stated, where she had actually responded to Michael, who had actually kind of taken full responsibility for a lot of the actions that he had done. And she responded with what I can remember is kindness and accepting that he had made a lot of wrong judgments. But again, she had actually stated that, you know, that she accepts his apology for the time being, for right now. And unfortunately, this is not the first time when it comes to Jeff. Jeff, who's actually been in hot water before, after a whistleblower of the company, Mika Burton, had also called him out for a toxic work environment. So it seems that isn't something new for Jeff. And if you guys want to know more information about that, I'll link a lot of things that she had actually gone through as part of the company as well too. But from what I read is that she went through basically hell with the group as well too. So that, like I mentioned, what occurs on screen and what occurs off screen are completely different, just from a lot of the response that a lot of people are having in regards to this, and what Mika and kdin had to go through. With several members releasing statements, responses to those statements have not been good for the members of Rooster Teeth, with Teeth asking people to respond not with hate-fueled messages, but understand that they made mistakes and are trying to make up for them. Yeah, they basically put out responses saying, you know, we're like, each person had kind of put out a response saying that they had made serious fuck-ups, made serious mistakes, and they're never going to be able to kind of make up for those mistakes. With a lot of people basically saying, like, calling for their heads, pretty much, for how badly that they were treated as well too, but also apologizing for things that they didn't need to apologize for. So there's a lot of, I don't know how to say it exactly, but there's a lot of people that are trying to apologize for things that they have no reason to apologize for, and making it worse. Yeah, so I don't know. And Kate, like I had mentioned, kdin actually responded to one of the tweets from Jeff saying, and I'll have the picture up as well too, "You told me no. Saying bad words is one thing. Everything else is on you and RT. Go pay, credit, and give proper benefits to your staff." So it's really not a good time to be an RT fan right now. And I'd actually kind of scoped through Twitter while this was going on, and a lot of people were actually posting pictures of them removing their RT First subscriptions as well too, which if you're an RT First member, you get to see like content first, you get like discounts on like merchandise and stuff, I think. But a lot of people were basically saying like, we're not going to support a company that like we're not going to support a company that basically sweeps toxic work environments, as well as like sexual harassment or things like that, under the rug in that regard. It's really tough to be an RT fan right now. I haven't watched a whole lot of their stuff recently. I've been watching a lot more like Funhouse and stuff, and Funhouse, basically, you know, they're kind of like their own separate child, but they're succeeding really, really well, minus one founding member as well too, but they're succeeding really well, and they've been able to move past what had occurred, and be a really good company as well too. Like, I really like them, I really do, and I've really liked them for many, many years. It just breaks my heart what this one individual as part of the group had done to not only the community of Funhouse, but to the members of Funhouse as well too. But we're not really talking about that right now. We're more talking about the achievement hunter and stuff and things like that. And I'm talking to you guys straight because this really, it's frustrating to know, because it's not the first time that we talked about toxic work environment or sexual harassment or things like that with companies. And it's just frustrating because, like, I just don't understand like why we can't just be nice to people, why we can't just be supportive and nice to people. It's just really frustrating. It really is, guys. I don't know. I really don't know, but hopefully someday we figure it out, and hopefully someday we can try to be good or better people, and also make up for the mistakes that we have made in our life as well too, because we all make mistakes, but it's how we respond to those mistakes that kind of define who we are, I think. So yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's not a good time to be an RT fan with everything in regards to the toxic work environment that individuals are put through, that they have no reason to be put through as well too. So as more information comes, guys, we'll talk to you guys. We'll let you guys know as things goes on. But unfortunately for right now, things are not great over at Rooster Teeth. All right, guys, with that wraps up 3 really important topics that we think that you guys should know more about regarding Helena Taylor's voice acting as far as Bayonetta 3, Netflix once again stepping into the gaming scope of things, trying to get their foot in the door, basically stepping over the corpses of other platforms that try to do the same thing, like Google, and then as well to the issues that are going on over at Rooster Teeth, aka Achievement Hunter, one of their subsidiaries underneath, and the toxic work environment that and it seems like others have actually been put through as part of the company as well too. But hey guys, if you guys do like what you see, definitely don't forget to hit that sub button, that like button, and that bell button to be notified of any new videos that are coming out. We really appreciate it. We really do. Thank you guys so much for everything. We hope that you guys have a fantastic day. We really love you guys so much, and we hope that you guys are staying safe. We hope you guys are staying well. Whatever it is, you guys, whatever you guys are doing, please keep doing it. You guys mean the world to us, and you guys mean the world to somebody, even if you don't feel that you do. You definitely mean the world to somebody out there. So keep being amazing people, keep being fantastic people. Like we always say, don't forget to be awesome, and don't forget to love, because hell, we could always use it. And I'll be sure to catch you guys on the next video. Adios, guys. Have a great day. Bye now.